All right, Happy New Year. We'll get started here in a minute or two. Big snowstorm tonight where I live, so I'm stuck at home. Hopefully, you'll be stuck with me for this evening's conversation. Be back in a minute.
Io t'amo e t'amerò ogni giorno ancor di più. Sinfonia e bel canto d'allegria. Sei tu, mio amor, questa dolce melodia.
Listen, the birds are singing. The spring is finally here. My broken heart is crying. Why the roses catches my teardrops.
Spring rain pulls out your name. My love, where can you be?
Okay, no camera tonight. Still trying to shake this sinus infection I caught about a month ago on Black Friday. So I'm not even drinking alcohol tonight, believe it or not, even though that gallon of wine is staring in my face just a few feet away from me. It's like, come on, you want this, come and get it. Shut up, wine. Overall, I'm doing okay. Before I forget, wishing you the happiest and most prosperous new year and all that good stuff. So yeah, so for tonight we'll have some fun, maybe crack a few jokes. This was unscheduled because I wasn't sure if a storm was coming. It's here. I had to cancel my plans. I actually just got back from a friend's house, had a drink or two, but I drove straight home. It's just a block up the street. I'm not a big fan of drinking and driving. Duh. So I'm here. Maybe you can be stuck with me for tonight's snowstorm and conversation. And those that I missed, well, I'll catch you on the next one. So, all right. Let's see who's in the house. Cody is in the house. Cody, are you working tonight? You're such a hard worker. How are you? I know you work all those different shifts, right? You be safe too, my friend. Yeah, I'm staying home. I'm about as safe as I can be. So, I think I ate too much at my friend's house. Man, his wife, she cooked, she made, what's that cheese thing called? Brie? Yeah, I had brie, had kielbasa sausage. There must have been about 7 kids in the house from different relatives screaming and yelling earlier today. It's all good. It's the holidays. It's as my dad would say, it's the value of life. Speaking of that, if you haven't already, check out my dad's new movie on Amazon Prime Video called The Value of Life, Italian with English subtitles. I think it's a feel-good movie. I wish the studio would pick it up. It needs to be seen in a wider scale. It'll make you think twice about what's important in our crazy world today. So check out the award-winning The Value of Life, now streaming on Amazon. You are working 16 hours tomorrow. Well, let me make a phone call to your boss. And if your boss is a female, you have tomorrow off. I'll take care of it. You should be in bed right now, but you're at work. You have to get up around 4 a.m. to 4:30. Oh, no. You work 6 to 2:30 tomorrow. Okay, and housekeeping. Okay. Well, I guess you got to pay those computer bills somehow, right? Man. Yeah, I took the rest of the week off. I really needed it. long year between surgery, my dad's movie, and I got this cold and everything. It's, yeah, not a fun year overall, but hey, I'm still here breathing. So, yeah, I got my water. Like I said, no wine tonight. It is already obviously New Year's in other parts of the world, like Australia, Japan, Italia. All right, so Cody, let's give this another minute or two, and we'll go into tonight's topic, the Linux year in review, some good, some bad. It is what it is. And hopefully we'll get some more people jump in the chat. If not, then we'll wrap it up early tonight. Again, I wasn't sure if I was going to be on, but the snowstorm took care of that problem, or that question. Have you seen the new Avatar yet? I would love to if we had a freaking cinema in this town, but thanks to the local politics, they suck. Well, we don't. Anyway. You cancel your YouTube Music subscription and collect CDs and self-host your own music. Okay, all right, cool. That's cool. Check out my dad's music if you haven't already. There is a new song on there from the new movie. I mean, it's in Italian, but if you like those kinds of tunes, do check it out. He writes everything himself. He wrote this one, performed this one at the age of 89. God bless the energy. Filmmaker James Cameron just turned 71. He's got 2 more Avatar movies planned, from what he said. Another Terminator he wants to do. No Arnold. I know, Governor. Look, I don't make the calls on. Okay, calm down, Governor. Okay, all right. Jeez. People get cranky. You've seen the first one only? Yeah, I saw the first 2 Avatars. They are amazing pieces of film technology. He is a genius. Would love to meet us someday. He lives in New Zealand. Can't say I blame him. But, yeah, check it out if you haven't. They're all very well done and expensive movies to make, but he'll make his money back and then some. Like I said, he wants to do 2 more. At least that's the plan. But this one has to make about $2 billion to turn a hefty profit. So he has another $3 million. $3 million. that pays lunch for the crew. He needs about $300 million to make the next one. $300 million plus, from what he was telling me. But from what I've seen, these movies are quite worth it. They are amazing. Not just in the technology, but the storytelling, the humanity of the storytelling, the inherent stupidity of mankind on a different planet, Pandora. Anyway, I'm not going to spoil it. They are worth seeing. I know sometimes going to the movies can be expensive when you add, snacks and driving and all that, but some movies are just worth it. And Avatar is worth it, and this is not a sponsored video or nothing. I'm just saying this from what I've seen so far. And if we had a cinema in town, we had 2 cinemas shut down during COVID, and doesn't look like they're coming back. The closest one would be a 60-mile round trip, and that is unacceptable. But then again, I don't run the town, so very disappointing. I'm a blue person living in the red state, Cody, and I feel it every day. I got to get a bumper sticker that says, I'm surrounded by idiots, but it is what it is. All right, let me grab my water. I need some more water. Actually, I could use a cough drop too, a Halls. All right, Cody, let's go into the next thing here. Hopefully somebody else will drop in. So, before we go into the year in review, this is for all the Windows newbies out there. If you watch this later, this is what it comes down to. There are approximately 1,000 different Linux distributions available today. Yeah, these distributions are often called distros for short. They're based on the same Linux kernel. Now, if you don't know what a kernel is, it has nothing to do with the military. But Think of it as you're standing in the middle of a bridge. The left side of the bridge is the software. The right side of the bridge is the hardware. You need something to connect the hardware and the software. That is the Linux kernel. Okay? And there'll be a quiz tomorrow. These offer different user needs. You have your casual users, your advanced users, you have your nutty Arch Linux users. Just kidding, just kidding. Servers, mobile devices, more, and yeah. So, different user needs. There are, well, 1 billion plus Windows users. Windows usage actually went up, and we'll talk about that. For the 1 billion plus Windows users trying Linux, you can forget about 99% of those systems, or as we say in New York, forget about it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you can count on one hand the ones that can compete with your Windows OSs of the world. The goal is to minimize using the terminal, minimize terminal usage. According to you, Linux newbies who say you do not want to use the terminal. It's okay to learn the terminal, but if you have to use the terminal, I agree, that is the wrong Linux-based system for you. And a distribution that I liked in the past, Ubuntu, today, to make it fully user-friendly, you have to use the terminal. And it's Wayland only, and that presents another problem. But for the Windows users, you can forget about 99% of those systems, 99% plus. And we'll talk about this here in a moment. Yeah. There are two kinds of Linux-based systems. One kind is for Windows users, and the second kind of systems are for everybody else. It really is that simple. And again, we'll talk about this here in a moment. Okay. Let's go into the next thing here. All right, the year in review. This is not a complete list. This is from what I've seen over this year and personal thoughts. And if you disagree with this, that's okay. And we're all family here, I would hope. 2025 Year in Linux Review. The bad. Well, the continuing joke of the year of the Linux desktop continues. Windows usage actually went up. In 2020, there was about 1 billion Windows users. Now that's like 1.4, 1.5. Many reasons for this. Some distributions drop X11 support, not good based on my tests. X11 replaced by the Wayland display driver. Now this thing is almost 20 years old. Are you kidding me? This is the best Linux can do? 20-year-old technology? For the future of Linux, forget about it. But that's all we have. Well, but there's that. We still have X11 in some systems like Linux Mint and Zorn OS. Thank goodness. But can you imagine if Windows did this? Hey, the new display driver is Winland, and it's 20 years old. Would we be kind to Microsoft if this is what they promoted? 20-year-old technology. Can we get real here? NVIDIA Wayland issues are mostly solved from what I've seen using Wayland. Great. Can I mostly pay for my new Linux PC? Again, let's get real. If it usually works, but not all the time, how much of a discount will I get off of that $2,000 Linux PC? This is why Windows usage went up. Part of it. As we said, there are still 1,000 distributions. Still only about 5 can compete with your Mac OSs of the world and Windows. This is called fragmentation. Yes, too many choices, just like too much love, is not necessarily a good thing. And this is the problem that the father of Linux mentioned some years ago, pre-pandemic, is the problem why the Linux desktop, for the most part, percentage-wise, has failed. Printer problems still persist. Some of you asked for help on printers. I don't provide free tech support. I apologize. I don't have the time. But here's a free solution for people who want to use printers with Linux. Just buy an HP printer. Seriously, just buy an HP printer, and that It's probably the easiest printer to hook up to Linux in all of my years of testing. Now, I'm still a Windows user, not as much, but if you have to print in Linux, just get an HP. Trust me on this. Last but not least of the bad, community infighting between Ex Libre and Wayland. This was a weird year for Linux politics. I don't get into that personally. I think it's stupid. It's just goofy. It doesn't help. But maybe Ex Libre is the future. It shows some promise. Promoting the X11, making it better. So yeah. Anyway, that's some of the bad. But there is some good in Linux. And again, I'm saying this as a Windows. I've been promoting Linux for a long time. I've been using Linux for over 20 years. So there has to be some good. Here's some of the good. Chromebooks still rock. Linux-powered Chromebooks. The only Linux machines to outsell MacBooks back in 21. Think about it. The Linux machine, the Chromebook that the Linux community loves to hate, for whatever reason, outsold Macs. Period. Nothing else comes close. I'm not saying Chromebooks are for everyone, but they rock. And no bugs. No bugs. They are plug and play, and you never have to use the terminal in a Chromebook. But Toss, these are based on Linux. You're lying. You never have to use the terminal. If you have a Chromebook, if you have to use the terminal in the Chromebook, you need to return that Chromebook immediately because there's something wrong with it. Seriously. Okay. The father of Linux, Linus Torvalds, called them a pathway to Linux or to more Linux choices, Linux desktop, because they just work. I think I'll call him the godfather of Linux, Linus Torvalds. He said you need to show some respect to the Chromebook because if you need to switch from Windows and feel debloated, well, first of all, stop eating so much fat. Anyway, yeah. Father of Linux called Chromebooks a pathway to more Linux, so that's good. In 2026, I guess there's something new for the Chromebooks called Aluminium OS. The Chromebooks are coming. And to better integrate the Android ecosystem, I think that's fantastic. Keep in mind, these Chromebooks, these Linux machines don't cost $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. They start at $200. Well, Toss, you can't get much for $200. What are you drinking? Well, how does 10 years of support sound? I don't know. I think that's fair. Now, I get it. They're not for everyone. I get it, but you could try it. If you don't like it, just return it, right? But if you try a Chromebook and you still say Linux sucks, I think the problem is you and not the machine. I'll just be honest. And they are still affordable, again, starting about $200. If you want to try a Chromebook, may I recommend a Chromebook Plus? Yeah, more RAM, faster speed, touchscreen, 4K. I have a 4K Chromebook touchscreen. I keep forgetting it has the touchscreen, believe it or not, when I use the damn thing. But I don't use laptops that much. I have a few ThinkPads I don't use. I'm either on my desktop or desktops. For tonight, I'm using Linux Mint on my HP. But either my desktops or my phones. I don't use laptops that much. Nothing against laptops or Chromebooks. I just don't. Anyway, it's just me. All right, some more good news for Linux. Generally better hardware support for Linux this past year. It appears from what you guys are telling me, gaming has improved. Okay, that's important. There's a new Cosmic DE from System 76 from Colorado. This appears aimed for new users. I'm normally leery of yet another Linux system, but this is built from scratch, I believe, from Rust programming language. From what I saw, it does appear to be user-friendly. I haven't tested it, but from the looks-wise, I would say maybe it's worth a shot. Okay. Where are we? Okay, Windows updates still suck. They take so long. Linux rocks when it comes to the update times. You can count Linux installation updates in minutes. Windows installs and updates are counted in hours. Hours. And I don't care if you have a Threadripper, a Star Trek computer, it's all the same. Windows is bloated. Yes, you can debloat it like I did, and it works great. But inherently, it's not as slim as what it could be. And that's what I don't like about Windows. Once you debloat it, is it stable and reliable? I have yet to see a black screen or blue screen of doo-doo in years. So it does work. All right, Zorn OS passes 1 million downloads. Now, when have we last heard of a Linux-based system being downloaded 1 bazillion, okay, but maybe not a bazillion, 1 million times? That's pretty good. I have tested Zorn. In fact, I've been running Zorn off and on for the last 14 years. Great guys out of, I was going to say Italy, but they're not Italian. I think they're from Ireland, the luck of the Irish, I think. 2 brothers, I do believe, and they've done a great job with Zorn OS to make it easier for Windows users to transition to Linux. It is a plug-and-play system. The times I've tested Zorn OS, I don't recall ever having to use the terminal. Can't promise you you'll never. I can only promise you that with the Chromebook. But Zorn OS just works. And of course, Linux continues its dominance. Enterprise and server, I believe Linux usage for that is still 100%. That's pretty good. And by the way, if you have a cell phone, you're probably running a form of Linux. That's right. Yes, you are. Last but not least, there are only 2 kinds of Linux. The first kind is for Windows users, about 5 of them on your hand that you can count. And the second kind is for everything else. And that's how we can simplify helping someone transition to the world of Linux. Let me grab my water here and I'll be right back. Okay. Quick joke first. I met this girl last week and she was singing Christmas songs all day. Yes, her name was Carolyn. Haha. All right. Let me go back to the chat and we have, who do we have? Cody's still here. Strawberry Kitten. Well, hello, Strawberry Kitten. I love cats. Cody says, to me, Chromebooks are good for people who lives on the web and use web apps. Okay. The Chromebooks, but they have to do their downsize like other OSs. Alrighty then. Windows updates took hours on your mother's 2011 laptop, Strawberry. It runs Kubuntu. Feels like a 2021 laptop now. Yeah, the updates in Windows could be better. And if you're running a 2011 laptop, it's definitely going to take its time. Yeah. All right. Now, when you install Windows and have it online, it installs updates while it's installing. Make the install so long. Yeah, it's. Look, I just did a fresh install on this HP. I was able to find a decently priced refurbished HP on eBay. I got lucky, but yeah. Windows 11 does work. When you debloat it, it does work. There's not a problem. But the updates, mamma mia. Or as my son would say, oh, mamma mia, when he was growing up. Okay, you wanted to try Zorn in Virtual Manager today. Didn't start the DE, not even in safe graphics mode, Strawberry. I don't use virtual machines that much anymore. I try to use USB Live or Fresh Install. Yeah, I don't mess with VMs that much. To you, 1 million downloads is an interesting new installs on actual hardware being used. That's impressive. Okay. But 1 million downloads isn't a big deal. Yes and no. That means that at least they are interested. I get it. When you have 1.5 billion Windows users, what's a million? I get it. But I'm going to have to push back just a little bit on this. I think that's impressive because it's still a million. When's the last time we heard a million downloads of Linux of anything? The last impressive news from Linux is when Chromebooks outsold Macs. That was 4 years ago, right? So it's not that big of a deal, mate, but it's still a big deal. Mark is in the house. Good day. Happy New Year to you, sir. How are you? Hopefully next time I go live I'll feel better and have the camera turned on. But yeah, what I caught last month, my goodness, it's still in me. But let me grab another drink of water here. Yeah, I mean, if one of the websites to check is distrowatch.com to see some of the Linux-based systems, but like I said, there are, when you count all the forks, there are 1,000. And yeah, again, you can count on one hand the ones that can compete with your Windows of the world. Here in town, I know of 2 people who use a Linux type of system. Okay, I take that back. 3, counting myself. I know 2 people who use Chromebooks, and then me who use Chromebooks and other, obviously, Linux-based systems. In my local Walmart, you can choose between 8 Chromebooks. I think that's great, but still only a Chromebook, not a Linux Mint book or an Ubuntu book. Or even an Arch book. I don't care, but I like Chromebooks, but just not enough. Again, that's due to the fragmentation. Still a problem after all these years. I think the maturity of the Linux desktop arrived too late because you've had your Windows and Mac systems take over the world. Linux came on the party, on the block a little bit too late, I think, is part of the problem. Yeah, Mint book does have a nice sound to it. I think so. Yeah. The problem with buying a Linux-based computer is 1,000, 2,000. We don't need another Mac. I mean, you guys following me? That doesn't make it. If somebody gave me $2,000 and said you can buy one of 2 things: an Ubuntu book, a Mint book, a Zorin book, or a Mac, I'm going to go with the Mac. Because I know I will never have to use the terminal. And I think that's one of the reasons why Windows usage went up to it seems like when I saw 1.5 billion. That's a lot. Yes, Linux usage went up too, but 5%, I mean, little bitty. You know, it's good, but it's, again, Chromebooks put a dent in that, but it's just not enough. Maybe next year with this new aluminum OS, maybe that'll do something. I don't know. If there was a Kdenlive and an OBS Studio official in the Chromebook, that's all I would use. But it's not, and there probably never will be. And maybe that's why Google is coming out with this new aluminum OS for the content creators like myself. Cody says, Mac, you do use the terminal a lot. Really? That's not good. Mainly if you want to change some advanced systems. Well, if you're being forced to use the terminal, I don't want to spend $1,000, $2,000 to being forced to use the terminal. That's not fun. I think, right? I've never had a MacBook. I wouldn't mind having one just to see if I could use it every day. I don't know. I just never quite went that way to spend $1,000. Just couldn't see myself doing it. So the people that I know who have Macs, they love it. Love it. Okay, so I guess they work. We have, I don't know, how do you say your name, sir? Miss? Dagathony. Dag Nabbit, what is your name, boy? Happy New Year to you. I'm just being silly. But that's if you're truly changing some settings that's in the system level, not the user level. Okay, well. Yeah, I've played with MacBooks before. They seem like high quality machines. Well, I guess they have to be when they start at $1,000. Like I said, I wouldn't mind having one just to tinker with it. I thought about buying one on Amazon just to try it, knowing I'm going to send it back, but I don't know, I just couldn't pull myself to really do that. But maybe if somebody wants to send me one and donate it, doesn't need it anymore, I'll give you my true feelings about a Mac, but couldn't quite get myself to buy it. Cody says Macs are great. Okay, you call it the licks for people who wants crap to be done. M-series ARM chips are amazing. That's from what I've seen, yes. And those ones, I believe, Black Friday, they were like $700 for an M-series MacBook. That's not bad, right? Those of you who use Macs? By the way, I'm streaming in 60 FPS. I guess everything sounds good, looks good. Mac Mini is really affordable if you compare the specs. Okay, all right. Yeah, if I was going to get a Mac, I would go with the M series or something to edit videos, a little bit more powerful, obviously. Okay, so it sounds the mic and the video looks good. Okay, thank you, Cody. Yeah, I've seen the Mac Mini. They look cool, but that probably would not be my first Mac OS machine. It would be like an M series or a regular. I don't even know what Mac calls their desktops now. So. By the way, if there's anybody new here watching and listening, please don't be shy. And even if you just want to say hello, you do not have to give your real name. I love doing these shows to meet new people around the world. I don't get paid to do these shows. We do have anonymous donations for the live shows. Thank you. I don't give out that information, but for the most part, I don't get paid to do that. I just love talking with you guys and meeting people. So if you are new here and would like to say hello, have a question, please do. MacBook Air. Okay. The MacBook Air really good. Okay. Yeah, I've heard good things about the M series MacBooks. I've been a big fan of ThinkPads. ThinkPads and Linux are the perfect marriage. That may be the only perfect marriage right now in the US is a ThinkPad and Linux. For whatever reason, they just work. Heck, I have a couple of older 32-bit ThinkPads that still work pretty good with Linux. Obviously not that fast anymore, but they're great. They really are. So we had two people jump in, Strawberry Kitten and Mark, and actually one more. Did you guys go computer shopping this year, or did you find the computer prices to be outrageous? Yeah, Cody. If I get a MacBook, it'll be an M series from what I've heard. Yeah. Thanks for the tip. I saw someone post a video. They went to a Costco. I guess they sell computers, and he says he got a really good deal on one of those cyber power machines for over $1,000. I'm like, that's a good deal? Really? I know. The price of RAM and everything has gone up because of the AI data centers, from what I've read. But it's one thing to pay a little more. It's another thing to feel ripped off, and that's a bridge. That was a bridge too far for me. So. Yeah, some machines the RAM is soldered in. You can't upgrade it. Yes. Machines that aren't upgradable is kind of a bummer, but yeah, I think for most people 16 gigs is enough. This machine here is 32 gigs, so it's more than enough. But probably for most people, unless you're editing 4K video, which sucks up a lot of resources, I think probably for mom and pops, 8 gig might be enough. If all they do is, because with Chromebooks, I think most of them are 8 gigs, and that's enough. But yeah, 16 gigs should be enough, sure. Of course, Cody, you want to max out your. We all want more power, right, Arnold? More, I need more power. Yes. I wonder how many people realize today when they buy a newer car with these computer systems, they are running basically a Linux car. Yeah. Any plans for 2026 toss? Right now, I do not. My dad had heart surgery last month. Everything is fine. He's recuperating. So I don't know if he's going to travel here from Italia. I don't know yet. But for now, specifically plans for 2026, I don't. I do want to set up a press screening for my dad's new film, The Value of Life, here in town. It's a challenge because we don't have cinemas, and I wanted to coordinate with the local United Way as a fundraiser. So if I could show the movie in lieu of charging ticket prices, I would just ask people, you can see the movie is free, but I would respectfully ask for donations to, I don't know, homeless shelter or United Way or food banks. You know what I mean. And to express, my feelings of what is the value of life. Thank you, Cody. Cody says, be praying for my father. Yeah, I spoke to him yesterday. He seemed in good spirits. And, yeah, look, he's 89, and he finished this last movie with a bad heart. And I was worried, but he was able to pull it off. But thank you. I'm still a fan of actual books, Cody. We don't have a bookstore. That's another thing that shut down. Yeah, but sure, I wouldn't mind buying more books if we had a bookstore. There's something about holding a book versus a tablet or a phone, right? Yeah. Strawberry Kitten, did you say that laptop your mom is using Linux? How did she adjust to that? I'm kind of curious. Yeah, this past November we had a ballot measure where apparently the ballot measure wanted to defund the local library. Oh man. Luckily it failed. But who in their God-given mind would want to defund a library? Okay, so there are some books you don't like. Well, don't read them. Back to Nazi Germany. But yeah, I still like books. I still like libraries and all that good stuff. So yeah. All right. Well, let's give this a 10-minute warning. I'll stick around a little longer. If nobody else drops in, I guess we'll wrap it up for this New Year's Eve. I wish we'd had more people drop in, but I am grateful for you who stopped in. The closest bookstore for you, Barnes & Noble, 40 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, for me it's Barnes & Noble, 30 minutes each way, and it's just not convenient, Cody, yeah. Same thing for the closest cinema. So, I don't mind in the summer when the weather's good, but like in the winter time, it's just don't have the incentive. But no, let's have a gazillion coffee houses here in town. 6 car washes. Jeez. Stuff I don't want. Okay, how about another quick joke? Let's see. I went car shopping last week, Cody, and the salesman says, "Sir, this big new car can hold 6 people without any problems." I said, "I don't know 6 people without any problems." Bada boom. Psh. I feel bad for the city workers who have to go out at, I don't know, 2 a.m. and shovel all that snow around the holidays, but that's their job. Yeah. Have you heard the rumor about butter? Never mind, I don't want to spread it. But that's 1 point for Cody. Went to this big Italian wedding last week, and the best man proposes a toast. He says, now to all the married folks, I want you to hug that special person in your life. I got to tell you, man, the bartender got crushed. What is Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana? Is the Chiquita banana? La 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 la. Speaking of bananas, tomorrow I'm going to go to the local grocery store, get me some vanilla bean ice cream, and chop up some bananas on top of it. Oh yeah. Some whipped cream. Don't that sound good? I may have to call my doctor again next week for a refill of those pills I've been taking for this sinus infection. It will not go away. Very annoying. Okay, we'll wrap this up in 5 minutes. Again, if there's anybody new watching would like to say hello, we'll wrap it up. As always a pleasure chatting with all of you. We have Selvinsikaries1 in the house. This just appeared on my feed. Yo, what's up? Hey, yo, Rocky, boom. What's up, Sel? How are you? Welcome to tonight's New Year's Eve feed. How are you? I can't think of the last time I've been to a circus, Cody. Yeah, I see it every day on the news coming out of Washington, but that's about it. Yeah, bada boom. I can call you Selvin. Okay, sir. Sounds good to me. Thank you. I'm good. How are you? Overall, good. Still trying to shake this science. I almost said science infection. I guess it is based on science. Sinus infection. I caught this on Black Friday. And I feel better. It's just taking so long for this to go away. But overall, good. And thank you so much for asking. So, Selvin, are you a Linux user? Tried Linux? Don't care for it? Chromebook? Mac? There was a joke on Facebook where it was like a tech support text, right? And this guy says, if I install 32-bit Linux twice on my machine, will that make it 64-bit? I'm assuming it was a joke, but you never know. Oh, Selvin, you're using Arctics? Super lightweight Arctics? Interesting. Why did you pick that one? That one is super fast, but if I recall, it doesn't look very pretty, right? If it's the one that I'm thinking of. But hey, if it works, that's all that matters. Too quiet. I'm going to play my dad's music here in the background if you guys don't mind. I won't crank it up. If it is, tell me, I'll turn it down. Oh, you despise System D. So it's just Arch without System D. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, when it comes to Linux-based systems or any system, I just use what works. I don't get that picky as long as it works, and I don't have, and I'm not being forced to use the terminal to fix something. I'm good. So, tonight, live streaming from Linux Mint, dual booting with Windows 11. I still can't figure out the bug in Linux Mint. The weather applet does not work. I've never come across that before. You also use Devuin on your secondary laptop. Won't guess what it is. Isn't that Debian based? Right? Yes. You're using Debian based Plasma. Just a thought. And by the way, Selvin, do you use a ThinkPad for Linux? Oh, it's Debian without System D. Yeah, okay. I mean, is it faster without System D, or is the performance better? I've tried Debian-based Linux Mint in the past. It was okay. System D is the slowest in it from all, so yes, it's better and not recommended for new users though, since you have to write scripts. I knew there was some. Yeah, I cannot recommend that on this Linux newbie channel. Yeah, that would never work. The moment you say scripts or terminal, their reply is, "I'm out of here, pal." Can't blame them. You know, doing these shows on a 50-inch 4K monitor is terrific. I can see everything in front of me. I don't need multiple monitors, just one big butt screen, and it's great. Flawless. Okay, Selvin, so you've been using Linux for 5 years. You kind of know what you're doing. That's great. I've been doing this now, well, let's see. 20 years. I started in 2006. Dang, man, 20 years. My first date with Linux was with Ubuntu. And we've been friends since. Kind of. Selvin says, "Oh wow, 20 years. Have you experimented with all distros?" It certainly feels that way. Probably not all of them, but a lot. I lost track how many, but yeah, If you name it, I probably got my feet wet in it. And this is why after 20 years I can confidently say that most of the Linux-based systems are not for Windows users. Just bug after bug after bug. Yeah, I mean your Linux Mint, your Zorn, your Chromebooks, a few more for Windows users, absolutely. Don't regret it though. I learned a lot that there are options. And I'm glad that I've picked the very few that do work for me. Even heavyweight Ubuntu tweaked with terminal commands is okay. I wish it was lighter, but it does work. Yeah, I don't recommend Ubuntu anymore for Windows users. They've changed over the years. Still a great looking system, but you got to use the terminal for tweaks to make it user friendly. So yeah, you agree that Linux Mint is the best of them all for new users. I just prefer building your system from scratch. And that's cool. But I just can't recommend that to my neighbor Dolly. She'll probably never speak to me again if I said that. Yeah, some Linux can be easy. But, you know, when I see videos saying Linux is easy, really? Like Arch? Like Slackware? Gentoo, really? That's easy? It's misleading for Windows users, you know. And that's why Windows usage is up. At least part of the reason. I'm playing my dad's song in the background. It's the "Oh Hey I'm Screwed" song. I'm still cracking up at this. When I went shopping for a new computer this Christmas, I felt like I was screwed. The prices just kind of caught me by surprise, but anyway, I was able to pick up a refurbished one, so. Oh, you installed Gentoo. It's really easy if you haven't installed Arch before. Ah. But the problem is you have to compile the kernel. It takes forever. Yeah, well, years ago, I would do a podcast, and we would call this, is this stable or horse stable, as in horse doo-doo? Yeah. It's ironic that Chromebooks, the easiest Linux, are based on a modified version of Linux, which is based on Gentoo. Who knew? Go figure. Yeah, I've never gotten really in deep and dirty with Linux. You know, my testing has been usually full installations more so in the past and virtual machines, not so much anymore. But after many years of doing this, there's really only a few Linux-based systems that are really good. Yeah, Debian is good. A lot of systems are based off of Debian, such as Ubuntu, Linux Mint, and others. So Debian, I believe, has been around since the 90s. I think so. Sure, Debian stable branch is, well, it's stable. So. I have ThinkPads and Chromebooks. Don't use laptops that much anymore. But yes, I still use some of them. Yeah. Like I said, ThinkPads and Linux, the perfect marriage for what I've tested. Okay. We have been on over an hour, so I think I'm going to wrap this up for this evening. I wanted to thank everybody here and the new people who popped in. Thank you so much for dropping by. Always a pleasure. Selvin says maybe try giving Arch a try. No, nah. I've tried Arch based in the past and it was a nightmare, so that's something I will not do. Yeah, not going to do it. My distro hopping days after 20 years are over. Yeah. We'll let some younglings, some young blood screw things up, as it were. But yeah. I will continue to test the latest, Linux Mint, your Zorans, Chrome OS, and all that stuff, and give my advice when I can based on real life experience. But I won't do Arch because I will never recommend that for a newbie. It wouldn't be fair. So, yeah. All right. Any final thoughts, my friends? I need to shove some Vicks up my nose when we're done here to clear my nostrils. Jam, man, I take the good stuff. You pop a few Vicks up your nose, man. You be in good shape, man. Thank you, Tony Montana, for the advice. Selvin says, wait. I will wait un minuto. Oh, super chat. Thank you so much, Selvin. Very kind of you. Now that makes my day, makes my night. And Happy New Year to you. I will get a cup of coffee with that. I think I still get a cup. Yeah, I can go to the gas station and get a cup of coffee for less than $2. That's what I will do. Selvin, thank you so much for stopping by. Cody and Strawberry Kitten, are you still here? And the other person's name starts with the D. Sorry, I forget. But thank you, Selvin. Yeah, we'll do this again. I have some free time up until next Tuesday. So, maybe I'll be on Friday night, maybe? We'll chat some more. Maybe if I feel a little better, I'll hook up my Logitech camera. And yeah, we'll chat a little bit more. So on that note, thank you again, Selvin. Thank you everybody here who stopped in. Happy New Year. Wishing you and your family the very best that life can give you. Champagne and roses, as I like to say. All right, I'm going to finish up my night. Maybe grab a little snack. I think I bought some. I bought some fresh donuts today. So I think I'll have something sweet to start off the new year. Why not? I go to the dentist here on January 6th or 5th, 6th. I don't like the drill. Okay. Happy New Year. Ciao.